there, I'm Jeremy. This is my wife Tammy. We are the Reynas. Over the last 4 years, we've had an interesting time involving my youngest medical conditions. We started off living in Tucson, Arizona, where we didn't know anything at all, just that she knew something was going on.
We met in the Air Force and we're normal, I guess young Air Force couples trying to make it in a military relationship with lots of challenges. Our work schedules were differing, our lifestyles were different.
Everything about our lives was really kind of in array, or disarray really. We kind of took life on as it came day by day.
That didn't always work for us. It was kind of a chaotic lifestyle. We had to overcome a lot of obstacles that probably didn't have to be there. Made a lot of poor choices in regards to ourselves and us as a couple.
And then we ended up PCSing and leaving for Louisiana. And that's when things kind of turned around without us even realizing it was going to.
On moving to Louisiana, we were having challenges with a 5-year-old little girl who was used to being the only child, and now she had a new little sister who had health challenges and issues that were unexplained. We had gone to doctors, we had gone to therapists. Everybody knew there was something wrong, but we didn't know exactly what it was. That was a struggle for our relationship as a couple. It was a struggle for our older daughter, Liliana. Trying to understand why she's no longer the center of attention because her little sister's health issues were taking precedence. We had a tough year the first year that we moved here. Sometimes I look back and I think, how in the world did we make it through, not knowing what was wrong with Jolie, Liliana struggling with some behavioral issues. I think you and I on 2 separate pages a lot, not understanding what was going on. Our little Jolie suffered a traumatic brain injury a few months after we moved here. And normally situations like that would tear families apart, or could tear families apart, but something bigger and greater than us was actually bringing us closer and closer together.
But throughout all of that, it's kind of funny how everything has been, looking back, how everything's kind of played out the way it was kind of supposed to, if you will. Because
at the time, not understanding that this was a journey or a path that was meant for us to take, and that was meant for our family to be on and to strengthen us, not to tear us apart.
So it's all kind of worked out in a very bizarre way,
We found out Jolie's diagnosis of mitochondrial disease, going to that that hospital that we had fought for in New Orleans to not go to. And there happened to be one of the only mitochondrial disease specialists there. Mitochondrial disease is a disease that involves the mitochondria. The mitochondria are found within every cell in our body except for our red blood cells. And this disease, either the mitochondria is lacking in the particular cell, or it is deficient or does not function correctly. So essentially this disease is trying to run an entire house on 2 AA batteries. It will work for briefly for never at 100%, never optimally, but it will temporarily work. It will short out every once in a while until it just finally, the batteries just die out and they're unable to be recharged. This disease is obviously a multi-system, multi-organ disease. It affects each individual differently. Our daughter in particular, she has probably either dysfunctioning or not enough mitochondria in almost every part of her body. With the exception of her heart, we haven't found any issues with her heart and her hearing.
This disease affects everybody differently, as Tammy said. In fact, in Jolie's particular case, she's the 12th reported case in the world that had this variation.
It is a progressive disease. There is no cure at this time.
We were specifically told, don't go look it up on the internet, because the doctor knew it was on there.
Yeah, the internet doesn't tell you that a about the smiling, dancing child that we have. Although some days she can't dance and some days she can't get out of bed, she almost always has a smile on her face. She has a great personality, a great outlook on life, an amazing relationship with God. She will tell you Jesus is her best friend and she loves to pray, loves to sing. So a disease that can make somebody or make you feel so horrible and so terrible can also be one of the most beautiful things that you've ever seen, especially in little Jolie. It was kind of bittersweet to know what was going on, but also to learn what this disease entails. However, we still had Liliana that we were dealing with. And as we were progressing with understanding, Jolie's new diagnosis and what her future could be like, our oldest daughter was sitting in the background, kind of
trying to put things together herself as well.
And there were certain things that she was showing, and I started to get concerned. So once again, went through our military insurance company and looked for a place to send Liliana, a therapist, a place for her to talk and maybe get some things out, some things that she was unable to talk with us about. It took a month or so before I think we decided we would take our step and just try it out. So I remember that first day.
The first time when it was on actually Easter service.
It was Easter service. Yeah.
Easter service.
And I cried and cried and cried the entire praise and worship time and most of the service, thinking something greater than us is bringing us home, or bringing me home at that point. I mean, we were in a terrible place. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know who we were supposed to rely on. Now, things seem easier, although difficult and hard. We have really hard days, but now it's so much easier to get through all that.
It definitely has made things easier. And I don't know if I just carry a burden of guilt, because at one point when I was younger, I even cursed God for taking my father away from me at a younger age. So to come back around is a miracle in itself, I guess. But in all honesty, it's been a blessing more than even I could have ever fathomed.
He was always with us, He brought us together. He sent us down this path. He sent us on our journey. And now that we're aware of that, now that we can see that, it's done amazing things for us. It's done, like I said, our difficult times are still difficult, but not as difficult.
So where are we at with our lives now? We still don't know. But we're not going to say that all of a sudden we have answers to all our questions and everything. We don't, but
now we just take every day, just day by day, knowing that we're not alone, that our struggles and that our joys are, there's a plan for that. And
we fought against a lot of the things that happened, and they happened anyway, and it was better. I mean, like it was supposed to happen. It happened the way it was supposed to. You can try and fight it, and you can look at the time. I dare anyone to look back in their lives and look at the times that they fought something, only to find out it didn't go their way, yet it still turned out better because of it.
And now we do less fighting. We do less, this is what we want. We just kind of follow the path as it takes us, and know that we're taken care of, that we're in God's hands, and our story is, although, like I said, difficult and challenging at times, it really is beautiful and exciting.
I'm not happy about the disease, but challenging as it is, I wouldn't have it any other way.
And